Hello, dear listeners. I hope all is well with everyone. On account of the Nagaland Cooperative Conclave, we bring to you a special interview. Today, here with us, we have architect Richard Belho, Zynorique Initiative Agro, and together we will be discussing on important matters concerning cooperative in Nagaland and in India. So, without any further ado, let's get straight into the interview. Sir, can you briefly introduce yourself to our listeners and also kindly tell us about your involvement in cooperatives?
Hello, my name is Richard Belho. I'm an architect by profession, and I also am a farmer as well as I am a chairman of a cooperative society.
Thank you for your introduction. Now, for our listeners who might not be aware, I believe that it will be suitable to begin with the clarity of the term itself. So, how would you describe your understanding of what a cooperative is?
We'll not get into the technical term, but from what my understanding is, and from my researches around the world, cooperative is nothing more than a group of people who have understood the benefit of working together and understood that there are a lot of advantages when people come in and work together. For example, if you have a small land holding, there's no way that you can increase that land holding if you're not very rich. But you can get together with other members, and together, if you farm product, you can meet market demand. But with your own land, you cannot do so. So there's so in that way so many advantages. And then if you grow big quantities, then instead of you having to go to the market, but people from the market will come and pick it up from the village directly. So when you form a cooperative, you save time and you get more money also in return. So there's a lot of advantage, and this basically is the whole idea of what a cooperative is.
Thank you for elucidating us. I'm sure our listeners have gotten an idea about that. With that, I want to pose some youth centric questions, sir. Now, how common do you think awareness of cooperative is among young people, especially in a state like Nagaland?
According to me, I think youths are not necessarily aware about that much about the importance of cooperative society, because the way our education is modeled, it's only modeled towards the young kids getting a salary job, and most importantly getting a government job. So because all our focus has only been in that manner, the youth themselves may not be aware, because these are things that cooperative the concept of a cooperative society or a cooperative group of people, or people earning money by working cooperatively, it should have been initiated from school level, like right from class 8. But since it's not been done that way, people are not necessarily aware of cooperative societies. And as far as cooperative societies are concerned, our Naga concept is that if you form a cooperative society, you will have access to government funds. So that would be limited knowledge for the younger generation.
Thank you for sharing your take on that. Now, since we are focusing on the subject of cooperative awareness among the youth, I would like to pose a question in connection to that, sir. Can you tell us how can schools, colleges, or universities encourage cooperative values among students?
This role is very important, because if you look at a society and the role of a school or educational institution in molding the younger generation, it is about primarily to create better human beings. And better human beings contribute to a better society, and it's all linked. And you cannot be a good human being unless you can learn to cooperate and work with other people. So a society is healthy only when people cooperate and work with each other. So this also calls for a spirit of volunteerism. Only when people volunteer, then they come forward and they can cooperate. So this school has to mold into their curriculum activities that encourages the young to not only just cooperate, but to cooperate and to teach them the concept of earning money also. Because by the time they pass out from class 10, their college education, they should be earning enough money to pay for their own college education. Why this is important is because if they pay for their own fees, or if they fund their own education, they'll be able to take more decisive career option, more measured. They'll understand what is the benefit. They'll research. Otherwise, what is happening at this point of time is because the parents are only spending for the children education. They are not thinking very deeply about the career choices.
Indeed, sir, the continued efforts, or should I say, the implementation of such an environment, would truly foster the idea of cooperative values among the students. Now, sir, be it any field of profession, I believe success stories and practical examples also serve as a great encouragement to aspiring minds. So, in our context, can you share with our listeners any examples of successful youth led cooperative initiatives?
Actually, I don't know whether these are youth-led cooperative ventures or not. But if you look around the world, the most striking example will be the organoponicos revolution in Cuba. This was started actually by one single person, a doctor, and he was instrumental in leading the whole country to an organic revolution. But all over the world, there are instances like even in India, you have the Amul Cooperative Society, which was also a very good example, and then in Dimapur also in Kohima we have the Komul and the Dimul. Dimapur has been a good example. So there are so many other areas also where in other districts like you have the Chizami Weaves, the Northeast Network assisted, and there are examples within our state also. I'm not able to recall everything, but there's so many things where the youth have come in with their education and with their experience also, and they've come in to start very good. Even Ete Coffee, I think in Nagaland is a good example because he's been able to bring in a couple of, though it's not a registered cooperative society, but still being able to get together a group of young Naga boys and girls and then getting them to work together is actually a cooperative society of sort.
Well, sir, thank you for sharing. Now, I'm really excited to hear your opinion on the next question. So, in connection to the success examples you have mentioned, which sector do you feel offers most promising opportunities for youths in cooperative, as in agriculture, technology, service, etc.?
Actually, we have to look at whether it's short term or long term. So, if it is a short term goal, food production is always as you produce food, it can immediately cater to the local market also and can bring in revenue. But if you're looking at long term development and things that will be really lucrative, and looking at our own area of Nagaland as a very loved region and an area where it's a biodiversity hotspot, I would still think that the untapped areas are the cosmetic line and medicinal and aromatic plants. So these are plants which are there in the wild and we have not explored enough. And I feel there's a huge potential for our youth to get into that. So some people can get into like a very high degree of PhD and whatnot, and, or a scientist come and explore, do the lab tests, and find out the value of each and every plant. And these are things that are indigenous to our land. So these are the two areas which are got a lot of potential, untapped potential. But as far as the other things are concerned, if you're looking at just not too much of heavy work, I would suggest that you go for agrotourism. Encourage villagers to take up some traditional system of farming and all, and then you promote it on Instagram and help your village by social media also, and then it'll just require you a good understanding of technology which the villagers don't have, and then promote your village. And right now, harnessing the power of social media is key. So there's nothing like whatever is existing is the best option, but whatever is not existing right now also can be untapped potentials.
Thank you for sharing. I'm sure our listeners have noted it down. Now, sir, this may be the most important question, sir, so let me put it straight. Do you feel the current government policies support youth participations in cooperatives? How do you perceive this scenario, sir?
As far as cooperatives are concerned, I think uh, there is no, from my own experience working with the government and with the various departments, I still think that government policies are well framed and it will benefit the local people. But the only problem with government policies and schemes and all, it demands a lot of paperwork. So we call it paper societies. Only those people who can finish the paperwork, they are able to get the fund. And sometimes it can so happen that you become an expert in making this paperwork, and you don't even have to really start a genuine society. So it can become a scam in itself. So government should spend more time in identifying genuine cooperative societies and directly fund them without having them to do all this paperwork, because genuine people don't have time for paperwork. And only bogus people have got the extra time that they can keep running around from pillar to post to fill up all this paperwork. So definitely government has got a lot of policy, but accessing the fund through those schemes has been an obstacle.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your honest thoughts about the situation. It definitely seems promising. Now, I believe it would be incomplete to just speak generally without including your story. I'm sure our listeners would like to hear about your personal account too. So let me ask this. What first sparked your interest in cooperative movement, and how did things go about since then?
See, our journey into this farming, it happened around 2006. And then we started in a small way in 2007, got a group of boys together, and then we started this journey. My journey is not motivated by commercial success or anything as such, but I want to revive the environment. I have noticed that our farming activity is maximum input and minimum output because we don't follow the science. So you have to be knowledge based. You have to understand the whole science, and I want to make the farming activity much comfortable and easier for the next generation. So I want to explore what is the best way, because when you look at the syntropic agroforestry type of agriculture, there you let the nature do the work. And then because you cannot start an agricultural revolution that breaks your back. Cuba and all are successful organic models because they had no choice for survival. They just had to do. But the next generation, whether the next generation will take up farming or not, is totally different. So for me, my thing is that my journey has been about understanding agriculture from a science point of view, and also how to make things better for the next generation, easier for the next generation. I want to make my farming zero fertilizer and zero irrigation, so everything automated in the same way what nature is, but by reviving the environment. In place of using pesticide, you have to take the long way of growing enough flowers and fruits for the insects, the birds, and the bees. No? So it's a long route, but I hope we'll reach there. But it's not that in the world I'm the only person doing this, but there are a lot of successful stories, so I'm also following them.
Well, with that, I believe we have touched on almost all important aspects concerning cooperatives. To end this interview, sir, would you like to share any last thoughts to our listeners?
My final thought is always make sure that whatever you do, just keep this in mind. Everything is about energy. If you think about the world look at the world in a positive manner, then the world will reciprocate to you in a positive way. Now, how do you harvest positive energy? Every morning, you should be grateful to everyone. Don't ever get into a habit of. You see online a lot of people always writing about negative comments and all. All these toxic people, you go and see their life. Their life is filled with toxicity only. They don't understand that it is themselves, the way they write, the way they transmit their thought is attracting only the toxic situation, and they are becoming more and more toxic. And then if you study the trait of successful people, you'll know that successful people only surround themselves with like-minded people, only people who never talk trash about people. They only talk about good things that make them feel good. If you talk, you have a choice. If you talk about bad things, it'll make you feel bad. If you talk about good things, it'll make you feel good. So always be in a position of gratefulness, and also understand this ultimate thing for me is like understanding that God is in control of everything. So whatever situation you are facing now, God has intentionally measured and given it to you. Learn to face that obstacle. Don't try to run away from it. A lot of people just try to think that if they go to a foreign country or if they run away to some other place, the problems will disappear. It has been measured out to you. Learn to solve, overcome those obstacles, and always try to become a better person every day. And then try to always make sure that your action is helping to make this world a better place.
With that, dear listeners, we have come to the end of our interview today. We are truly grateful to you, sir, for taking your time out and sharing your valuable insights to our listeners. I'm sure all of our listeners have got to learn something new and something valuable through this interview. On behalf of our listeners, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors. Thank you once again, sir.
Please like and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell for the latest contents. Also, follow us on all our social media handles.